ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 The title of this talk is True Love versus Maya. Okay, now it might be a little bit too advanced to go too much into depth of what Maya is, so I have tried to keep it at a minimum, okay, because in Gurbani, in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru talks about Maya and what Maya is and how it affects people a lot. So it is a very important subject, and for us to really understand as Sikhs our purpose and how this world, Mara describes it as a battleground. Yeah? And what happens in a battleground? A battle takes place. Okay? Constantly, every single day, you are fighting a battle. Okay? And it all depends on how good you are, how equipped you are, okay, in fighting that battle, day-to-day battle. That will determine whether you leave this place, leave this battle arena as winners or as losers, okay? Now, it's very important, but in this game, there is no second chances. So Guru Maharaj has given us as much help as possible. Gurbani talks about what you need, and before you go into the battlefield, you need to know who your enemy is, okay? And Guru Sahib talks about all of that. So Maya, it's something that's very deep, deep-rooted in everything that we see, and it's not easy to escape. So we need to understand, is Maya our friend, or is Maya the foe? Yeah, friend or foe? Okay, we'll find out. Okay, now, what is Maya? Hands up if you've seen the film Matrix. Oh, okay. Right. Hands up if you know who Keanu Reeves is. All right. Okay. Now, he's an actor, obviously, and he starred in this film. Now, if you haven't seen this film, then you will not be able to understand the analogy. But the analogy that's given, now when we talk about Matrix, it's a computer software, right? In this film, I don't want to spoil the film for you, but I'll have to tell you a little bit. Yeah, he dies in the end, by the way. Okay, so, well, you know, I thought I'll save you because it's a long, it's a trilogy. It's very long, so cut a long story short, dies in the end. Anyway, we're not interested about if he dies or lives, but it's what he actually did. Did he beat the Matrix? Did he beat Maya? Because Maya is like the Matrix. It's an illusion. Because he's living in a world, it's a world created by computers. It's a software. But to him, to this person, it seems real. Everything that he sees, everything that he touches, tastes, smells, everything, it's just computer generated. It's not actually real. But to him, it feels very real. Okay? Give you another example here. Anybody here ever had a dream? Not the American dream. We all have that. Okay, that's good. Nobody there dreams? Okay, your sleep's pretty boring. Yeah, I went to sleep, woke up. That was it, really. But when you dream, what happens in your dream? The life that within that dream seems very real. Everything seems very real. People sometimes wake up crying because of something that triggered that in their dream that felt so real. Sometimes people have woken up laughing. Who's done that? I have. Yeah. I've woken up laughing. Not because it's all right, you're not going mad. It's perfectly fine. What happens is, that is a reality, but in a dream. It seems so real, but is the dream real? No, thank you. Dream's not real. But when you're in it, it seems real. But then you wake up. Benji's dreaming there. Oh. Did you have a dream? Oh, okay. No? Okay, right. So, in the dream, it seems real, but as soon as you wake up, okay, then you realise, hang on, that was only a dream. So I didn't mean to do that, picking you, sorry, I apologise. But I couldn't resist. We were talking about dreams and you were sleeping. But, so, reality, what we think is reality, is not actually reality. Okay? Now I'll say that again. Reality, what we think is reality, is not actually actual reality. Might be confusing, but that's what Maya is. Maya is very confusing. You can't determine what is Maya and what is not. Okay? Let's do a simple test in this room. Okay? A simple exercise. Right. In front of you, there's various forms of Maya. But one of those images, it's not Maya. Can you figure out which one that is? Pizza's pure, pizza's real. Please, Maharaj, don't let pizza be an illusion. I don't want to live in a world where pizza is an illusion. Take me now. Right, okay. A baby. Okay, hands up, so it's between pizza and baby. Okay? Some of you are saying that I could happily live in a world where babies are just made up, not real. But pizza is. And some of you are saying the rest is all an illusion. But the baby is not an illusion. Okay, hands up if you think the baby is an illusion. Is an illusion, is. So 2 people think baby, or 3 people think. Okay, so if you think pizza is an illusion, hands up. Okay, right. Now, quite a few things there. Do you guys get Star Plus here? I'll give you the answer in a bit. Oh my God. I know. I feel your pain. Because if you have parents at home and you have Star Plus, then you're not going to get to watch any TV. Yeah? Constantly they're watching the Indian soaps, the dreaded soaps. Oh my God. You are lucky you don't have Star Plus. You don't know how lucky you are. Now, talking about Maya, people think what happens in Star Plus is real. I have seen women shout at the TV because the sus in the TV is being horrible to the no. I have heard it. Yeah? Parents going, "Kani kapati janani hai kada apni nuh nu." I'm like, what's going on? They're shouting out and swearing. I'm like, it's only a program. I'll tell you a true story, okay? I went to someone's house, okay? Obviously I knew them. I didn't just walk in, right? That'd be trespassing. But I went into the house and the mother was doing part. Yeah? The mother was sitting in the, well, we call it the lounge, the sitting room. And she was doing part, the Dada Sahib. And the TV was on. Okay? Now I'm thinking somebody must have been watching TV whilst she was doing part, and then they just left, and they just left the TV on. I said it's very disrespectful to have the TV on when the part's going on. So what I do, so I went up and I grabbed the remote to turn the TV off. Okay? That's a true story, this is what happened. As soon as I grabbed the remote, the auntie that was doing part went like this. Like that. Saying to me, "Don't you dare turn that TV off because she was watching the Indian soap and in Red Ross at the same time. It's a true story. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God. Now, that's Maya at its best, because even when you're trying to do part, it's still got a grab, you know, it's still holding on to you tightly, not letting you go. But, shall I give you the answer? Who wants the answer? Just 2 people. You've got to be more than that. You've got to do better than that. Okay. Okay. The answer is... Wait for it. Ooh. Are you sure you want to stick to your answers and you don't want to change your mind? Okay. Okay. Okay, the answer is... It was a trick question. The all Maya. All of it. I am sorry to break it to you that pizza is an illusion, unfortunately. That doesn't mean you can eat as much as you like so you won't put on any weight. You will do, that's real. Okay, but pizza isn't. Now, you might be thinking, how is that possible? How is the baby Maya? Okay, think about not just the baby, but think about the attachment that the baby brings. Yeah? The Kam, Krodh, Lobh, and what's the next one? Moh. Moh is what? Is attachment. Okay? Now, attachment. Now, it might seem a little bit harsh to say that, you know, babies are an attachment. We shouldn't get attached to a baby. Now, loving your child, loving your baby, looking after it, okay? That's not Maya. That's not attachment. Okay? Now that's not attachment. You should love your child. You should look after your child. Okay? That's the way you should be. However, when you get so engrossed in just attachment to your child that even when they're growing up, you don't let go, and you are so obsessed with your child and that's it. You don't see anything else. People will go to any lengths to do things for their child. They will even go to the lengths of stealing, even killing. They will go to those lengths. Why? Not because they just want to provide food for their baby, which can be understandable, but they want to buy their babies, their children, lots of expensive things, and they are willing to go to any lengths. They show off their kids, especially in the Punjabi community. Oh yeah, my son's a doctor. What does your son do? Yeah? And then they're like, oh yeah, okay, he's an engineer. Oh, okay, right. Move on to the next person. What's that doing? That's more, okay? And that's giving birth to pride in something. And what happens in the Punjabi community, when those kids grow up, they find an amazing job, start earning money. What do they say to those parents? It doesn't happen all the time, but I'm saying most of the time. What will they do, those parents? Okay, mum or dad, right, I want to live my own life now. I want space, okay? I want space, and I want you to just, step back and, let me live my own life. What happens to that more? And that makes the parents sad. They're saying, I brought this kid up all my life, and I gave them everything, and now they are saying to me that step back, I want to live my own life. What's happened is that they got attached so much that they didn't realize the reality of things. And this is a harsh reality. This is what we're talking about, Maya. Maya is harsh. It seems very sweet in the beginning, like that newborn baby, but when he grows up, and when he becomes rebellious, when he wants to move out, and there's many Punjabi parents that I have personally gone and seen and visited who are just living their last years in homes. Yeah? Because, and you talk to them and you ask them that, have you got nobody? Is that why you're here? Most of them will say, no, I have a son. In fact, I have more than one. And they are very successful, but they didn't have time for us. And you know, they make excuses. Oh, he's very busy. They couldn't look after us. They couldn't look after me. I'm better off here. That more that they gave so much, in the end, it betrays them. Not saying that's all the time. That's that's the case. But that's the harsh reality of what Maya is. Attachment, what more is. Okay? So there was a trick question. So one person got it right. So they can have another prasada later on as a prize. Okay? Or a pizza. How's that? All right. One last thing I want to point out is you've got your tabs, your tablets, then you've got your phones, then you've got all your social life, your social media. Okay? Now, kids these days, you can't imagine a life without Facebook. See, imagine if the government, if your president came on TV, what's his name? Barack Obama, yeah? Barack, I'll call him Barack. Anyway, your president, Mr. Obama, he said that from today onwards, there'll be no Facebook for anybody. One person will be happy. Imagine the rest of us. You don't have Facebook. You have Snapchat. Okay, imagine if you ban that. Okay, no, not Snapchat. It's all on there, right? I remember when my phone, I have a phone, I'm going to show it to you just in case you're thinking that he looks like a person who can't afford a phone. Yes, okay. Now, I admit this is an old phone, okay, but I have it nevertheless. And I remember the time when my phone, okay, died. Very sad day for me, that was. Very sad day, because I couldn't turn the phone on. I tried everything. I tried giving it the, you know, all that CPR, you know. I was trying to like get the chargers, 2 chargers. I was trying to like charge it, you know, shock it back into life, but it wasn't happening. That was the saddest day of my life. Honestly, when I didn't have my phone, it felt like a part of me was gone forever. Okay? Why? Because I was attached. Imagine if your phone gets taken away from you. People, they're saying, no more phone for you. What are you going to do? That's my life over. Attachment. Maya comes in so many different ways and forms. Now, even it's so clever that you're affected by it and you don't even realize. Okay? And you don't realize. Okay, so everything on that is Maya. Okay? Now, look at Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Now, Guru Sahib, he now shines a light on Maya. So what Maya is. There are many shabads in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. You go and search, you'll find loads. Okay? Guru Maharaj saying, Kudam kare pas pankhiya disse nahi kaal. Okay? The animals and the birds frolic and play, they do not see death. The birds. Uthe saat manuk hai fatha Maya jal. Mankind is also with them, trapped in the net of Maya. Now, you tell me, I just saw that image, okay, so I thought it was a good image to use to demonstrate a point. It's a trap and there's money on it. Now, if we actually saw that in real life, how many of us wouldn't actually be tempted to go, actually, I fancy my chances. I'll see if I can just quickly, I'm going to do that, right? It's $20, I don't know what else is underneath, okay? Sorry? Yeah, you want to do that, yeah? We want to do that. So, straight away, when we see that, you're thinking about how you can get that money off, and you're not thinking about the trap that you might hurt yourself, you might end up, losing a finger or something. But you don't worry about that. You're worried about how can I get that wad of cash from there. That's how we think. That's how Maya gets you straight away without you even realizing. I'm talking about a battle. Kaam, krodh, lobh. Lobh is what? Lobh. Lobh is greed. Greed. You want everything. And I'm thinking, if there's enough money on there, I don't mind getting hurt a little bit. Because there's money on it. That's greed within me. I'm not saying that's everybody, but that's the state. Guru Sahib talks about Maya has, like the first day we had the Hukmnama, Maya has spread its jal, the net. Just like if a bird catcher, goes in and he sets out a jal, a trap for the birds. And what does he put on the ground? He puts seed. He puts seeds on the ground. And the birds come in, What do they see? They don't see the net. They don't see that there is somebody waiting to catch them and then kill them. What do they see? They don't see any of that. What they see is just the seed they see, and then they fly to it. And then they go, and as they are eating that seed, then the net drops. And then it's too late by then. It's too late by then. Guruji is saying that in this world, Maya has laid down many traps to trap you all the way. If it's not money, then it's status. If it's not status, then it's attachment to people, attachment to things. Now, Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, those 5, they work in a team. And they lay many traps in a day. Anger affects us on daily basis. Greed affects us. Lust affects us without us even realizing. But we fall trapped to it. Maharaj saying, just like those birds, that human beings are not different to those animals because they should have a higher intellect, but they don't. They get trapped in it. That's what Maya does. And when you're trapped, then that's it. It's difficult to get on. On top here, Mara describes that Maya comes in many forms. And Maya here, Guru Sahib saying, he's giving an analogy here. He's saying, Aisi istri ikram upai, un sab jag khaya, hum gur rakhe mere bhai rahao. Maharaj is saying, Maya is like a beautiful woman. Now, who here has heard of Sant Harnam Singh, Rampur Khedewale? Who's heard of Sant Baba Harnam Singh? Sant Baba Harnam Singh ji was sitting down, and those of you who don't know who Sant Baba Harnam Singh ji is, now, he was an extraordinary Gursikh, and he had done so much Simran, Bhajan and Jap in life that came to a point where there was no difference between him and Maharaj. He was so spiritually high, and he once describes what happened to him. Now, Maharaj says, such is Maya, the woman. As he is sitting down to do part, to Jap, he sees, corner of his eye, he sees a woman dressed in beautiful clothes. And she looked absolutely beautiful. And as he sees her, and he sees her coming close to him, and he realizes who that woman was. Because people who try and do so much Simran and Bhajan and Jap, you try and adopt the good path. When you try and adopt the good path, what the Kaljug, this age, the age of darkness, will do, what Maya will do, Maya will try and pull you down more. It will strike you more. Maya will say, hang on, where do you think you are going? You can't escape me. And as she came closer, Santji thought that if she comes any closer, then she's actually going to come and affect me and affect my Simran. So he tries his best to stop her in her tracks, but she doesn't stop. She doesn't even slow down. That's how powerful the Maya is. As she comes closer and closer, and then when he's exhausted himself, and he does ardas to Maharaj, he says, Maharaj, I cannot hold her. Please help me. And then at that point, Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj came. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj came, and Guru Amar Das Ji put his hand on Sant Harnam Singh Ji's head and blessed him. And at that point, he says that Maya just ran away, just disappeared. That is how powerful Maya is. That for somebody who was so highly advanced in his spiritual state, that he found it difficult to stop Maya in her tracks. Only your Guru, next Pankti Mara say, Un sab jag khaya hum Guru rakhe mere pai, that she's devouring the whole world, but the Guru has saved me. The only savior from Maya is your Guru and nobody else. And nobody else. Okay, now I'm not going to go through the rest of the Shabad because I am just conscious of the time as well. Okay. Just quickly, Maharaj is saying that even Brahma, Vishnu and Mahadev, now in the Hindu faith, they are looked upon as gods. Yeah, that they are the supreme gods. Brahma and Vishnu and Shiv. And Shiva, Maharaj is saying even they are not exempt from Maya. That's how Maya, that's how strong Maya is. Okay? Now, only those Gurmukhs who are attuned to the Naam are blessed. So we are very fortunate. Don't leave this camp without realizing that. That if you are born into a Sikh family, and if your parents are sick and you go to the Gurdwara, may not be every single day, maybe whenever you go, being born into the house of Guru Nanak, you, every single one of you, are so special that what you have done in your previous life was something so amazing that you are here. But don't let that go to waste. You have come to the best place. No, every single day, many souls come on this earth, but they don't all come into Guru Nanak's house. You are those lucky ones that have come and taken birth in Guru Nanak Dev Ji's house. And Maharaj is saying no one is exempt, but those Gurmukhs. He's given us that chance that He will save us. Okay? Now, just want to talk about true love. People who denounce the materialistic things and they have a control over their Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. Hands up if you know what they all mean. Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. Hands up if you don't know what they mean. Hands up if you don't know. Okay, there's a few people here at the front. Now, just for those, very quickly. Now, Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar are very, to put it in simple form, are very strong emotions that you're born with. You're engineered to have those. And no one's escaped from it. Yeah? People have different sort of controls over them, but everyone's born with Kaam, lust, Krodh is anger, Lobh is greed, Moh is attachment, and the final one is ego. Every single person who's born has that within them, and those are the ones that drive us. If you have an excessive amount of Krodh, anger, that can destroy you, and the rest follow as well. Yeah. So Maharaj is saying that those who denounce and have a full control over their Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, no longer they are driving them, they're actually driving them the other way around. Maharaj is saying those Gurmukhs are very few. And how do you get to that stage? Those who fall in love with the true and the truest form, and the truest form is of Vaheguru, not Maya. Those who have fallen in love with their Guru, those who have fallen in love with Akal Purkh Vaheguru, they are the ones who are truly in love. And that's the true love. In this world, many people many people fall in love. Many people fall out of love. Now, I remember at work, before I was married, the rest of my work colleagues used to say, "Oh, Sukh, are you going to have an arranged marriage?" And I said, "Well, of course, going to have an arranged marriage." They're like, "What? You're going to have an arranged marriage? How can you marry somebody you don't love?" I'm like, "Okay, so you understand what love is then, okay?" I said, "Okay, so tell me one thing then. People who don't have an arranged marriage, who fall in love," I say, "do they ever get divorced?" He was like, "Yeah, there's a lot of divorces." I said, "Well, so if you got married because you loved somebody so much, then how can you leave that person? What happened to that love?" He goes, "Well, then that love might not be actual love then." I said, "Well, exactly." Sorry? Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is people have a very distraught version of what love is. And to them, it's as simple as that. Okay? I'm going to touch upon that slightly, just a little bit further on. We'll come back to that. But Guru Maharaj is saying, "Preet Preet Guriya Mohan Lalana." So who should we actually love? Maharaj is saying, love for the enticing beloved Lord is the most glorious love. Okay? And then Maharaj is saying that you should meditate. Jap man Govind ek hai, avar nahi ko lekha. Sant lag manhe chhad dubda ki kuriya. Now, duality, dubda, is another hurdle when we're trying to get close to Maharaj. Kabir ji saying, "Kabir lagi preet sujan syo barja log ajan. Tasyo tuti kyo bane jaake jeev pran." Now, Kabir ji was a very revolutionary saint, that he spoke against the Brahmins, the hypocrisy that they were practicing, and he also spoke against the Mormons. So neither the Hindus priests or the Muslim priests liked him because he told it like it was, and they didn't like him for it because he loved the one true Lord, one true Vaheguru. So what did they do? They got him and they chained him up. If you see in that image, they chained him up. They chained him up and they threw him in the river, in Ganga, and tried to drown him. But what happened? He's a true Bhagat. He's in love with the true Vaheguru. That as soon as they threw him in the river, his chains broke. His chains broke and he floated on the river, if you can see in that image. And he actually writes about this account in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So I'm not making this story up. No one's making this story up. It's written in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Bhagat Kabir Ji writes that himself, that when they threw me in the river, Ganga ki lehar meri tuti janjeer, that the Ganga broke my shackles and he floated on a deer skin. And Maharaj saved his life because he was in love with the true Lord, true Vaheguru. They tried to kill him again. They tried to get an elephant to trample him to death. They made the elephant mad first, and then they were going to trample him to death. But what does Kabir Ji do? Kabir Ji asks Vaheguru for help. And the elephant actually ran away, and when they tried to force him to come back, he came and he bowed down to Bhagat Kabir Ji. He bowed, the elephant bowed down to Bhagat Kabir Ji. It's not a made up story, it's written in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So, for those people who have risen above Maya, who have broken away from false love, fall in love with the true Vaheguru, and they're the ones who will go away, leave this earth as victors, victorious. Okay, right. I'm just going to quickly go over the first Sukhi, because first Sukhi you all know. Who's the on the first image you see? Do you recognize who that is? Yeah, who is it? Who is it? No? Anybody? Bhai Mati Das ji. Fantastic. And Bhai Mati, now there's a quote above it. Jis pyare se honne ho, tis aage mar chali hai. Right? Die before the one whom you love. Okay? And I'm not talking about this Bollywood-fied love that, you know, people are so brainwashed with. Yeah? Oh yeah, I love you so much. Yeah, I will, you know, die without you. I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. You know, when they feed you that, that's rubbish. That's not true. That's not true love. Maharaj talks about the true love. He's saying the one, die before the one whom you love. And if you look at your history, that's exactly what's happened. And it's not just an easy death as well. It's a death that's going to be very painful. Imagine you've been told they're going to get a big saw and they're going to saw you in half from your head all the way. Very painful. Not an easy way to go. But that's what happened by Mati Das ji. By Mati Das ji was when they told him that this is what they're going to do to him, he smiled. He smiled. He goes, okay. Fair enough, okay. And he smiled. And they were like, okay, maybe if we actually bring the saw and show him, and then he'll be like a little bit scared at least. He'll start, you know, asking for mercy. So they came and they put that ara in front of him. And he did namaskar to the ara. He's saying that ara is going to take me to my beloved. The ara is going to be the tool that's going to take me to the one I love. I bow down before it. And they were just taken back. Because he was in love. That is true love. That is true love. That nothing could faze him. No threat in the world could faze him. That is true love. And when they had the ara, they were sharpening the ara in front of him. And he is saying to them, he goes, make sure you do a good job. Make sure you do a good job. Make sure that ara, make sure that saw is sharp enough. And they were like, so what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to sharpen my mind. So when they started sawing him in half, he started doing Japji Sahib. Japji Sahib the part. And as they cut through him, they could still hear the Japji Sahib part. And he didn't leave his body, he didn't leave his shareer until all of the Japji Sahib was finished. Jinni naam te aaya, gaye musakkat kaal, nanak te mukh ujle, keti chutti naal. His mukh was ujla. His face was radiant in the court of Vaheguru. He was in love. That's true love. The Bibiyan, you heard about, Benji was telling you about the women who suffered such horrible atrocities in the prison of Veer Mannu. They weren't fazed because they were in love with their Guru. Okay? Now, I'm just going to share this little thing because I feel that's quite important. In England, we have an issue, a big issue, with regards to grooming. When young, impressionable girls fall in the trap of so-called love and they run away from homes, and they run away and they end up getting used and abused, and they find themselves in a very dark place because they cannot return home, they cannot go anywhere, and they have to suffer what's being thrown at them. All because that false idea of love somebody has trapped them with. Now, it's very unfortunate that I look at our history and look at those women that so happily let their small children be chopped into small little pieces, but rather than leave their faith, turn their back on their guru, so happily would do that. It's not an easy thing. You know, when we read it, when we read about history, we read it through without, sort of having a connection with it, and it's just another story that we've heard. But when it's happening to you in front of you, your child is being snatched away from you, and he's crying and he's screaming because he hasn't eaten for days. And then that child is taken and he's chopped into pieces in front of you. It's not an easy thing to then sit there and thank Vaheguru and thank Guru for what he's given you. Because they were in love. Nothing could make them fall out of love with their Guru. These days what happens? It's very unfortunate that a slight, somebody speaks nicely to us. This is how they do things in England. This is how those girls are getting trapped. Initially they speak very nicely to them and they buy them gifts and they say, I love you, and they fall for it, and they fall for that. Guru doesn't come into their mind then. Those women, that sacrifice doesn't come into their mind then, because they're obsessed with that idea of love. They're not in love. Finally, that's a picture of 1984 Shaheed Anok Singh Babbar. He was in love with his Guru. He had the true love. When the police captured him, they hung him upside down from the ceiling and they beat him. And they beat him unconscious. And what they used to do, used to get iron rods, heat them up so that they were red hot, and get those rods and push it through his chest, push it through his legs. Even then, he didn't fall out of love with his Guru. He didn't turn around and say, Guruji, I've done so much, and is this what I'm going to get in return? No. They beat him and tortured him. They gouged his eyes out. His eyes, so you couldn't see. His eyes was gouged out. And he's hanging upside down. And when he's lifeless, they untie him and he's lying on the floor. He's breathing, but that's about it. But then he comes to and he wakes up and he shouts. He shouts to the guard. He says, what time is it? Says to the guard, and he goes, that's a bit odd. Why is he asking the time? He goes, why are you asking about the time? He goes, can you tell me the time, because I have to do my raras. So after being tortured to a degree where he felt unconscious, and can you imagine not having your eyes being gouged out, pulled out, or you lying there in a pool of blood in lots and lots of pain? The only thing he could think about the moment he woke up was, what time is it? I better not be late for my part, for my raras. And the guard told him it was evening time, about 7:15. And then he started doing his raras. And then the guard, when he saw that, he said, no more, no more. That these people are killing saints. No more I can do this job. He went to his officer, where his officer was an utter evil person. He said to him, he goes, these Sikhs, they're just magicians. He goes, he's done some sort of black magic on you. And you're not thinking straight. So you know what he does? the final horrific thing he does, he goes in and he pulls out his tongue. He pulls out Anak Singh Babbar's tongue and he cuts his tongue out because he wanted to do his raras part. Even then, Anak Singh didn't turn his back on his Guru because he was in true love. He didn't have any of those things that Maya offers. His family wasn't around him. Nothing was on him and he was in so much pain. Everything that the Maya offers and that we turn our backs towards our Guru for much, much less, that he had nothing. Even that tongue that he recited Gurbani with was taken away from him. Everything was taken away from him. He still loved his Guru to the very last breath. That's what true love is, Satsang. Now, for us, how do we get to that stage? And that battle I talked about in the beginning, this is a battle against the Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar and many other battles. Are we going to fall prey to Maya, or are we actually going to try and fall in love with our Guru? Okay, so my time's up, I'm going over, so my apologies. So if you got any questions, you can ask later on. But that's all for me. Thank you for listening. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.